turning into his luxurious home.
I'm Linda Hurtado. Join me for my exclusive interview with this hometown guy.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick from the Backstreet Boys.
Don't miss your chance to share a day in the life of pop idol Nick Carter. Only on 28 Tampa Bay News tomorrow night at 11.
Fan your children probably are. The Backstreet Boys are one of the hottest groups around, having sold more than 28 million CDs worldwide. Wow. Nick Carter is the youngest member of the group. He was raised in the Tampa Bay area, perfecting many of his performing skills right here.
28 Tampa Bay's Linda Hurtado spent a day with the hometown star, talking to him about his past here in the Bay Area and why he still calls Tampa home.
Come on in, everybody get in.
Here, Chris, get on one side of him. Kristen, you look like you're a little stunned.
I am.
Why? What's wrong? Why are you stunned?
All this over a 20-year-old Tampa man named Nick Carter.
Oh my gosh. I'm like dying over this.
What?
I'm shaking.
What is that?
It's his autograph.
Whose autograph?
Nick's.
Nick is a member of the Backstreet Boys, world famous, an honest-to-goodness teen idol. And he honed those skills where he grew up, right here in Tampa. A teacher at Miles Elementary School gave him a break, a starring role in the 1990 school play Phantom of the Opera. Nick was 10.
She heard about me being in a lower grade and me singing, you know, and she auditioned me for the part, and they made an exception for me to play the part. And really from that point on, you know, I was stuck with singing and acting, so I do owe a lot of credit to her.
Ms. Montez Dioca held on to the video and mementos of her young pupil for all these years because
he stood out. When we did the play, The Phantom of the Opera, he received a standing ovation, and there were people crying in the audience, and we just couldn't believe the way his voice projected.
St. Pete music teacher Mark Dye also had a brush with the young Nick.
He was 9 years old at the time, blonde, cute as a button, freckled, you know, blue eyes, not very big.
Dye kept a wealth of videotape documenting Nick Carter's growth and his history in Tampa Bay. A spot for the St. Pete Library.
We think of a theme we like.
A performance at the Tampa Bay Performing Arts Center.
And leaving our sacred premises.
And performances at the Florida State Fair. Ironically, Nick's thirst for musical theater may have been making him anything but.
People looked at me kind of like an outsider. I was always doing different things like acting and singing.
Were you the popular guy in high school?
Not at all. Actually, I was probably the only guy in school that couldn't get a girlfriend.
So when did that start changing?
When I got in the group.
Nick moved to Orlando, where he hooked up with a couple of young men also on the audition circuit and a talent manager looking to put together an all-boy band.
Me and Howie and AJ had been involved in acting together and singing, so we were like, we were going to try it.
You stand there and walk around the stage in the round, and the fans scream continuously for like 15, 20 minutes before you even sing. What is that feeling like?
It's overwhelming, I guess you can say. It's kind of, yeah, you sometimes don't understand why they do it.
Despite international fame, Nick Carter is still very much tied to Tampa. He owns a house here. He likes the food at Landry's. He's a big fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, this is Hardy. Yeah, Hardy. We love him, though.
In fact, you may often see him sporting a Bucs jersey. And he loves the water. His home on the bay is a piece of paradise he can retreat to when world-weary.
There's things that have happened, influential things in my life that have happened here in Tampa. I owe my heart to Tampa, and I owe all my energy.
In Tampa, Linda Hurtado, 28, Tampa Bay News.
And Nick is involved in the community here. In fact, he hooked up with Brandon Ford and ABC 28 to auction off what may seem strange to you, a piece of his furniture, a piece of it for the benefit of the Tampa Children's Home. So if you'd like to own a piece of this signed couch, you can log on to our website at tampabaylive.com. We'll link you to the auction site. Remember, money raised from this goes to the Tampa Children's Hospital. And tomorrow night at 11, Linda will show us a day in the life of a pop superstar, Nick Carter.
Now, he's a single kid, So you might find a sock in that couch somewhere under the cushions. So don't be alarmed.
French fries, that's what you'll find
Popcorn.
in that couch.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, anyway, so how are you doing tonight? For an exclusive tour of the home of Backstreet Boy Nick Carter.
Plus, new research shows
One of the hottest bands that travels the world, but at the end of the tour, Nick Carter calls Tampa home. And last night we showed you a young Nick performing around Tampa Bay.
we don't know if he wanted that video shown, but tonight we're going to take you into his home and show you what life is like behind closed doors. 28 Tampa Bay's Linda Hurtado has the story you'll see only on 28.
A view of Tampa Bay, white walls and wide open spaces, art sculptures, and roommates named Mickey and Houston.
Had the truth, thinking there's only summer and wouldn't.
This is the paradise pop star Nick Carter is carving out for himself in Tampa.
Welcome to the jungle.
And it is a sharp contrast
Do you want to see it?
to this. Nick Carter is a Backstreet Boy, a teen idol who spent the last 7 years recording, touring, and posing. In his Tampa home, on vacation, Nick Carter seems relaxed, but music is never really far away.
You tend to get addicted to music and you want to have it all around you, so that's basically what this is. I'm setting up a little studio in my house, and so I can start writing music and being able to put it down immediately.
So some of the future Backstreet Boy songs may come from this room?
Yes, possibly. Possibly. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I mean, either that or for groups that I'm managing.
Right now, Nick is just managing to move in.
Slowly but surely becoming my place,
He's only owned the home for 3 months.
Well, this one right here was, I think, one of our first breakthroughs in the States.
But he's already decided to decorate this room in platinum and gold, with plenty of room left for a painting by a fan. Nick says he spends most of his time in the TV room, loves video games and sports. On this day, he's preparing for a charity basketball game, and he's excited to be playing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Just don't get warm halfway. He's not playing. King is. Guess who else is? Okay, did you see the list?
Despite his fame and fortune, there are no accountants, publicists, or agents around. Maybe a bodyguard and a few friends. Here, Nick Carter seems more average guy than pop superstar. But leave the safety of his gated paradise, and all that changes. Nick is the only celebrity at the charity event who requires an escort. The girls are screaming for him. The event was advertised on radio, so teens showed up with cameras. One fan even ventured onto the basketball court in her excitement. A friend of Nick tells her kindly to back away. It's a tense situation at first. So why does he even do it?
Nick is doing very well in life. He wanted to give back to the community.
I mean, I'm just starting this whole charity thing. I'm 20 years old. I'm just starting it all.
The game ends. A pretty blonde, hoping to get a picture, waits in line. Suddenly the crowd parts and there he is. She snaps the photo and just in time, another girl in security push her away. Nick is escorted out the back door into a waiting car, girls filing in line behind him as he's whisked away, back to his peaceful paradise, hidden on the coast of Tampa Bay. In Tampa, Linda Hurtado, 28, Tampa Bay News.
Nick Carter is also involved in a number of charities in the community. Right now, he's auctioning off signed sections of his sectional couch to raise money for Tampa's Children's Hospital. If you'd like to make a bid on that, log on to TampaBayLive.com. We'll link you to the auction site. They'll sell those couches, I guarantee you.
That's an unusual item. Usually it's clothes or something, or a guitar, or some musical instrument, but a section of a couch.
Nick Carter sat on that couch.
That's right.
That's what makes the difference.
Good enough.
Wayne, you said earlier.